Hey there, this is Sage with learningwithsage.com. Today I want to show you how to use the Google Sheets tool to set up a tasks list for your daily, monthly tasks so you can stay organized on a day-to-day basis and never forget anything you have to do. I really like this tool because while it's not the prettiest, fanciest software in the world, it's free. It's totally customizable. So whenever you find a certain method isn't working for you, you can change it up and do something new with it. And also, it's just really easy to use. So I think you'll see all of those things in this video. So the first thing you need to do is set up a Google account. This whole video is going to assume you have a Google account, so if you don't already have one, just go ahead and set that up now. Just do a Google search for setting up a Google account, and it's going to be the first result. So set that up and then come back, and it'll be really easy to set it up. If you have a Gmail account, you already have a Google account, so just log into your account now, and then you can follow along. Once you log into your Google account, you can just go to drive.google.com in your address bar in your browser. I've highlighted it at the top of my browser here. You can also, once you're logged into your Google account, you can also go to these 9 little gray blocks over on the right, and you can click it and select Drive. That'll also take you to the same place. Once you're in there, you're going to click this blue new button in the upper left-hand corner, and you're going to select Google Sheets. That's going to open up a sheet in a new tab for you. Now, I would say a best practice for any sort of document you create in Drive is always to name the document first. So right now it's called Untitled Spreadsheet. It's always going to be called that the first time you create it. So just click in there and give it a new name. I'm going to call mine Tasks List and click Enter. All right. And if we go back to our Drive, you'll see that Tasks List gets created and loaded in the folder that you're in. So you can always move it around to different folders. That's a different video. We won't get into that now, but you'll see it in here now. So let's go back to the task list and format it the way we want it. So another nice thing about Google Sheets is that it works very similar to Excel. So if you're used to Excel, and a lot of people are, you can use this for any sort of spreadsheet functionality. You can create functions. You can use this as list making, which we're going to do. You can use it to perform other calculations that you need. You can use it to keep track of all kinds of different things. So it's really customizable. You can pretty much do anything you want with it. So in a way, it's like when you make a drawing or a painting or something. Here you have a blank canvas, and you have to do something with it. In this particular case, we're going to take care of tasks, obviously. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some dates. And let's just start at the very top. So we call each of these cells by their column titles, which would be A, B, C, D, etc. And then their row numbers, so 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So starting in A1, we'll put in today's date, which I believe is April 27th. Yes, okay, so April 27th, and then I'll tab over to the next cell, B1, and I'll put in tomorrow's date, which is April 28th. And I'm just going to put in those 2 dates, and you'll see why in a second. You need at least 2 in order to create the rest of your dates. But just bear with me for a second. So the first thing I want to do, because I'm going to copy and paste these basically to the rest of my as the rest of my column headers. But before I do that, I want to format these because I want the formatting to be copied as well. So I'm just going to highlight these 2 that I created. I'm going to bold them. I'm going to center them. And I'm going to give them a nice background fill color. I like these really light colors at the top, but you can use whatever you want. I'm going to choose light yellow 3. All right, they're fully formatted as far as my preferences go, and they're already highlighted. And you see this blue little square at the bottom of cell B1. I'm just going to click on that and drag it all the way across to, I'll stop at L. And you'll see what happens there when I click out of this is the dates were automatically filled out for me by the sheet program, which is really nice. And the formatting was kept intact as well. So a couple things about this. I only have 12 columns in here, so it's 2 days short of 2 weeks. You can have as many as you want. In the template I've created that you can purchase, I'm just going to have these 12 columns, but it's really depending on your preferences, which will be based around 3 primary things. How many dates you like to have in each sheet. Your computer monitor size may, of course, inform how many you have in each sheet. If you have a really large monitor, maybe you can display 3 weeks of dates at the top. And then whether you like to scroll or not. I don't like scrolling at all, ever, on my tasks list. So when I'm in here, I don't want to have to scroll up and down, and I definitely don't want to scroll left and right. So I keep it very confined to being able to see everything I need to see right on this main page without any scrolling. So those are the 3 things you're just going to want to keep in mind about how many dates you're going to display on this tasks list. And you'll also notice, of course, there's only the 12 days. So if you have tasks that you need to put on here for May 9th or May 12th or June, they're not going to be on this page. But we'll deal with that a little bit later in this video. So we've created our dates for this first, I'm going to call this this sheet, the first period, April 27th through May 8th is a period. So for this first period, we formatted the date, we put in the dates, we formatted them. Now we're going to put in some sample tasks. So April 27th, today. What do I have to do today? Well, I have to take out the trash. I have to call Bob. I have to organize party. I have to clean yard. I have to check email. I have to do social media. I have to produce this video. I have to publish this video. I have to social media this video. I have to read 2 chapters in my book. All right, that's enough for now. Couple things about this. Okay, so this is just an example of some tasks you could put in a day-to-day basis. Now, you could take these and, you're going to have tasks in every single one of these days. So this is going to be pretty filled out when you're done. But I find that the current day that I'm on, as well as the day after the day that I'm on, are usually the ones that are most filled out. And every night before I go to bed, I can update the day's list as well as the stuff I have to do for the next day and the day after that. Just because things come up, you change, what you were able to get done that day and what you weren't able to get done. So you're going to want to update your list for the following day to make sure it's copacetic with whatever you actually managed to get done and what you do need to get done the next day. So, but for today, I'm just setting this up. Let's just say it's 8 in the morning, and these are the tasks that I'm going to get done. So one thing about this is I like to keep between 8 and 12 items as a maximum for each day of the week. So here we have 10 items in here. So I'll leave space until the 13th row for items. A couple items might come up. But basically, I find between 8 and 12 is the most amount of things I'm able to get done on a particular day. And if I put too many tasks on a day, I'm never going to get them all done. And it's going to be very frustrating and annoying to you because you're not going to get things done. You're always going to have to be copying and pasting items from the day that you're currently on onto the next day or the day after that because you weren't able to get them done. And it kind of is like a cycle where you start to feel like someone who can't get stuff done, that you're not productive enough because you're not finishing your tasks. So it's sort of a mental thing also. So I really try to limit the amount of tasks I put on each day for my mental well-being, so that I can feel productive. And also really getting, if you just get 4 to 6 things done on a day even, and you do a good job on those 4 to 6 things, that's great. Some people don't get anything done. So I just keep 8 to 12 items though, because it really depends on a couple different factors. One is how many things you're actually capable of getting done. You may have a lot of distractions like kids or family that you need to take care of on a regular basis or do things with. You may have a lot of driving that you have to do to your job. You may have a lot of things that take a lot of your time during the day, so you're not going to get as many tasks done, whereas someone who can just focus on their tasks all the time, they're going to be able to get more things done. So it really depends on that, and then also how granular you make your tasks. So that's another thing I really recommend is a lot of the tasks I've put in here as samples are very general. Calling Bob, somewhat specific, but it could be more specific. Organizing the party is kind of a specific item, but it also has a lot of moving parts that you may want to nail down. Cleaning the yard is very general. If you have an acre of property like I do, that could take all day and multiple days. So I really find it's a good idea when you're putting in your tasks to try and make them as specific as possible. So let's just take clean yard for an example. Something that's actually more manageable, something I could actually get done, would be trim hedge by garage. Now that's something I could get done in an hour or less. And I'm going to be able to get it done. I'm going to be able to check it off. And then I'm going to feel like I've been productive today because I actually managed to get that done. So making your tasks very granular and limiting the number of items you put on here is my 2 best practices for setting up your actual to-do list items. It'll be different for you. Like I said before, it depends on how many distractions you have, how many things you can get done. You'll get a feel for the number of tasks that works for you and the granularity that you need to input them in over time as you work with this technique. So let's add a few more headings and rows because you'll see why I said I only want to add 8 to 12. It's not just because of productivity and granularity. It's also because we want to leave room for some other categories, if you will. So I'm going to put in here something called miscellaneous. I'm going to bold that and center that as well. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the way out to column L, and I'm going to give this a background of light green. Now what this is these are miscellaneous tasks that don't fall into any particular days. Maybe I want to trim hedge by barn as well, but I don't know which day that's going to fit in yet. I just know I want to get it done. So I'm putting it in here, and then when I do my nightly updates to this list, when I'm figuring out what I'm going to do for the next day and for the day after that, then I can decide if I'm going to have time to put trim hedge by barn on any of those days. Maybe I won't. So maybe it'll stay down there until May 1st or 2nd, and maybe at that point I'll have some time that frees up and I can put that up there and take care of that as well. We leave some items for miscellaneous, and then I put one more column in here called goals. We're going to format it the same way. Bold, center, and all right, here we go. Goals. And then I'm going to make this background of red. This area, this category, is probably what you want to fill out first on most of your sheets. I find it to be a good best practice because it really organizes your thoughts. So this is the goals for this period. And again, I refer to a period as whatever the dates are for this sheet. So April 27th through May 8th. My goals are to trim all the hedge on property. So I would like to have all my hedge trimmed by May 8th. Once I put that goal in there, then I can decide on my tasks. So trim hedge by barn, trim hedge by garage, which of course I already moved up to getting done today, and then so forth. So I can add other trimming items in here as well. So you'll notice that because I have limited space, the tasks are vertically oriented by the day. But these miscellaneous tasks are going to be put in here right to left, because I only have 2 spaces if I go up and down, but I have all this space to the right. So I can put more items in here, like, actually I'm not going to put that in there. I'm going to put that in as a goal. So we'll say finish book. Okay, so I want to finish my book. And then, let's see, create presentation for event, practice presentation. So these are just some other miscellaneous tasks I could have successful party. So these I put to the right and left, and you can have a bunch of items in here as well. You could actually put items right next to each other if you want to, and you'll see that you'll still be able to see what's in the column to the right, which supersedes the column to the left. But it doesn't overwrite it. The column to the left, if you double click in there, it will still show you that you have all the content that you created. So that's one of the, I guess, less ideal things about this particular tool, is just that you're going to be overwriting certain things that have more content in them. So read 2 chapters in book. If you have another item over here, that's going to not overwrite that, but that's going to not allow you to see all the content in cell A11, but again, it's all in there. So that's how I organize these particular sheets. And then at the end of the day, or actually throughout the day, as I'm getting things done, so I took out the trash, I can just delete it, right? I like to delete things because at the end of the day, I like it to look like this. And when it looks like that, I feel very productive, and it makes me happy. I'll just undo that for a second. Some people like to see what they've done, and that makes them happy. So another possibility is you could bold the items that you get done, for example. Or you could give them a background color. Maybe you want to make the background gray when you get them done. I don't know. It really depends on what your personal preference is and what works for you. All right. So that's how you set up this particular sheet. Now, the next thing you want to do, and what I include in the template, is all the different sheets. This is really the cumbersome part of setting this up yourself. It takes about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to set up this entire template. So what we're going to do is, this is just sheet 1. I'm going to right click that, and I'm going to rename it to whatever the dates are for this period. So, and I like to abbreviate it because I don't want these, I'm going to have a whole bunch of sheets down here, and I don't want them to be too long. So we'll call it April 27th to May 8th, right? And then I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to rename that to whatever the next period is. So May 9th to, I think the 20th would be 12 days. So then let's go ahead, so we're already in there. So let's go back to May 9th through 20th, this new one we set up. And I'm just going to remove these things that I've already created. And I'm going to put in the new dates. So May 9th, May 10th. We already know how this works. Highlight those. Take this blue square and bring it out. So May 20th. All right. So now I have May 9th through May 20th. So let's go back to our first sheet that we created. It's got all our stuff in there. Let's say my tooth started hurting during the day and I needed to call the dentist. So I'll put that on there. And then let's say I called the dentist and I was miraculously able to make an appointment to see the dentist on May 12th at 8 a.m. So then I would put that in here. 8 a.m. at dentist. Okay. Then I could go back to April 27th and I could remove call dentist because now I'm done. So that really keeps you super organized throughout. And then when you get to the following period, you'll be able to see that you have 8 a.m. at dentist, and you'll never forget that in here. And if it's really important, you could bold it, or you could even give it a a background color if you just need to make sure to remember that. So that's just, base it on your own preferences on that as well. So if you buy the template from me, I'm going to go ahead and have the whole year of sheets filled out for you with all the dates, the miscellaneous and the goals sections for that year. And I recommend really just keeping it to a year in this sheet. And then with a new sheet, you could create a whole, with a new year, you could create a whole new Google sheet with the new dates in there, because you don't want too many of these. You're already going to have tons of these tabs down at the bottom just for the 1 year. I mean, that's pretty much it. This is how this system works. It's not perfect, nothing is, but I've been using it for years, and it just works so seamlessly for me and just so well and keeps me so organized that I have no reason to use any other sort of system. So, it may not work for you, but I suggest you give it a try if you think it looks like something that would work for you. So yeah, if you like this video, please like it and leave me a positive comment down below. If you have critical feedback for me, that's welcome. Also, I'm always trying to improve these videos, so just let me know what that feedback is. You can put that down below as well. You can also email me at learningwithsage@gmail.com. And I also encourage you to visit my website at learningwithsage.com. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great and productive day.